Hi, this is Jim the Keys bartender. We're coming to you from Key Largo from the Kelly Kontiki bar. We're joined right now. We're with Jenna.
Casa de Kelly.
Yep.
Or whatever.
And we have someone with
Andy. Andy's mouth
Andy
is a little
with
full.
his mouth
He's
full of
eating cookies right now.
Cookies that pointedly does not have marijuana in it or THC. Right?
Yeah, well, how would I know?
Yeah, well,
how would I know how to ever do that?
We were. It was Martini Monday once
Yes.
again, and the whole crowd came in. Tyler, Jenna, Papa Joe, and Damon, and
Jim made excellent martinis for us.
Thank you. And then there was cookies.
Cookie, I brought
And
some
as soon as
cookies.
someone brings in cookies, if they're under 60 years old, you got to ask nowadays, especially with.
Hilarious.
Yeah, we said, "Is there anything in it?" And even though,
Yeah,
how would you know?
Katie
How
was
would you
like,
know how to make
"Are
them?
those-"
Well, what you do is you get the butter. What you do is you melt.
You have to make.
Yeah, you get the butter. You melt it.
Yeah,
Understand? Get the butter
Just doesn't
and you
sound
melt
good.
it.
I
And
don't
then
know.
you steep it at a certain temperature. The marijuana in it. I think that's pretty much the way you do it. You could do it with oil. Oil's probably a little better, so because you can get it at a little higher
You know,
temperature.
I should ask my mom. I know she got edibles. Now you just put. Oh, Tyler just said now you just put THC
Why would you,
drops.
if
How
you have the
about olive
drops
oil?
already, why would you
Right?
need the food? Why don't you
It would
just
be a
sprinkle it
healthier
on, like
choice.
make a salad dressing? If you want to be healthy and get the munchies, you can eat a whole salad. Just
You know,
mix it with some
I have to say,
balsamic vinaigrette.
that I really thought that when people said they
Yeah.
made like weed cookies,
Zesty Italian.
Zesty
like-
Italian.
or like-
you get to be yes.
surprise brownies, right?
Well,
like
yeah.
I guess I just thought that you just crumpled up some weed stuff and just sprinkled it in it. I didn't know.
I think no. I mean, you could probably
you mix it in the
probably would
butter?
work, but I don't know. I
I was
don't.
going to say, why don't you just grill it?
I don't know if it's. I don't know if
wouldn't
you
know.
eat it if it releases the. It can happen, but I don't know it effectively releases it. I'm sure there's going to be someone commenting
Yeah,
on it,
I'm
and they're
sure
going to
that
say,
somebody's going to
"Hey,
tell us how to
you can fucking
make
eat it and get
proper
it."
weed cookies. I have no
Do you,
idea.
Because
do
that-
you marinate the
Why would you dry it if you could just eat it? If you could just eat it, right? And
Can
obviously it isn't.
just
You could
eat
probably
it?
eat it because you smoke it and you put all the right.
The chemicals is, but I don't know.
You could probably eat it because burning it won't.
Just eat it.
just eat
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Just
but
eat it.
I mean, it may not
know.
release it.
Well-
It may not break it down in the stomach like that.
Unfortunately, I don't know how to make weed cookies, and I did not. They're just
Your
regular.
mother would know.
I guess we could.
I think my
Google
mom
it.
would know too.
Your mother knows how to
No, and
Google it.
well, we'd have to bring this up on the live because then she could like tell me, or I could ask her now, and then we could talk about it online.
Oh, we'll talk about it live on the
Yeah.
next one. So, do you want to talk about the date?
There was a date.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how
Well,
old are you?
that's why
How old are you, Andy?
I just turned 49.
49. And you? How many Tinder dates have you been on?
In the Keys, 2.
Oh, in the Keys. How long have you been in the Keys?
3 years.
Okay, well,
I've
wait.
had 4 dates total in the Keys.
Okay, wait. You've been on Tinder before you got the Keys? You said
Yeah,
four.
when I
Okay.
lived in D.C.
Okay,
Yeah.
and that it worked out pretty good
The
there.
thing with Tinder is, you can set the distance and the radius distance, and I mean the closest spot is what 30 miles away, 20 miles away.
Yeah.
That's where the majority of the women are. But a lot of them are on vacation as well, or they're passing through, and you pick up their signal, but they're going to Key West.
Oh,
or
they
whatever.
like leave their location services on, and they're
Yeah,
like,
you have
"I'm
to have your
traveling over
settings.
here."
How does it? Wait.
Wonka,
Go through
wonka.
the.
So
you know what's funny?
you-
When it first started out, I met Abby 11 years ago. So they had Match.com was around. I wasn't really gonna.
Yeah.
I mean, I was getting lucky anyway. I was a bartender and I worked out at the gym. I found a lot of women there, but I imagine if I didn't, I would. So
Yeah, so basically you log on and you have to have your location on, and then you can go 100-mile radius, 10-mile radius.
If you're really lazy, you can be like, "Who
Yeah,
is
so
in like a 10-block radius?" Because I just want to get some.
Yeah, I think the lowest is 2 miles. I mean, it has to go out a little bit.
yeah,
So down here, you're 20 miles from 30 miles from the nearest city,
yeah.
not including Tavernier or anything. But yeah, it's just slim pickings down here. So
You ever go out on a date with someone you met on Tinder
Yeah.
from local? Then
not local. They're all from the mainland. So usually I go up there, went to a baseball game this year. Had dinner with the one this time, and I forget the
baseball game.
Yeah, it was
first.
It's
first time you met?
If you go to a baseball, it's 3 hours. You meet up. There's you can talk baseball. You can talk everything. Let
me put a scenario for you. Okay, one of those situations. You're sitting down the baseline, right? Mm-hmm. Got really good seats, and you're sitting there talking to the girl, having a decent time. Then you realize you don't really like them. Some guy drives a drive down the baseline. He comes into the stands.
Right.
You don't like the person anymore? Do you not put your hand out to block it from her face?
That's a reflex.
Okay.
Yeah. And actually, the game we were at, I got a foul ball.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Did you give it to her?
Yeah, that was my second one, so it was like no big deal.
Wow. Yeah, how'd that work for you?
I got a little kissy kiss, but it was like you said, there was no sparks or anything.
No sparks, yeah. You ever get sparks from one of those?
Yeah.
Okay,
the
good.
Ones
no,
up north,
I'm not
right?
asking for details. You don't have to.
Well,
you guys got to keep a secret sometimes.
Well, when I was in D.C., it's
a lot of young women down there. A lot of women. Ton of women. Single women, professional women, intelligent women.
Tourists.
Oh.
Tourists.
Even the tourists are intelligent because who comes to Washington, D.C. unless they want to see shit?
Because it's a college town, it's a business town, it's a government town, it's a military town, it's a tourist town, it's a transient town.
Yeah, no one goes to D.C. to go and say, we want to party? We're going to go to D.C. to go to Holocaust Museum? Fucking A.
That would be awesome. But,
it is awesome. Well, because you're an intelligent girl. Now, hot Atlanta, it's probably hot girls there and stuff like that, but I mean, you can run into a lot of women of substance.
You get like the smart ones that are like checking out the museums,
there's
and
some
after
hot,
hours they're tossing a few back. They're ready to get some. That's what you were hoping. Well,
10
that's why
years
he
in DC,
smiled.
And
I love DC. I love the Baltimore, DC. I love that area.
Yeah,
there's tons of single women down there.
Oh yeah, and then
up there,
and then in the summertime, you all go to the Delaware beaches, go to Dewey. And that's just a whole new ball game there. So,
yeah. Oh, you weren't in Ocean City. Ocean City's more like a working class. Yeah,
that's
Dewey Beach.
That's Dewey is 1 mile long by maybe a quarter-mile wide. It's surrounded
just bars, right?
You park and you walk for the whole weekend. You don't have to worry about that. The only drunk drivers there are the locals.
Mm-hmm. I like here.
It's a small little beach town, and I did Dewey Beach for 13 years. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. And there you really don't need a Tinder app unless you're a local, because everyone's there for the weekend.
Yeah.
Everyone's guards are kind of down, and everyone smiles at the beach. So yeah, DC. You gotta do the date thing and the dinner thing or the lunch thing or the coffee thing, or you go to sports or the arts or the museums. Or a concert.
Yeah.
So, DC, you have thousands of options. Down here, it's you want to go to jet ski. You want,
I was going to say
boat.
It's funny.
You want to go to the Golden Corral?
Do you want to go to Sharky's?
There really is not a lot
there's
of
a movie theater.
Single women down here.
Yeah, it's shitty movie theater.
And especially my age, everybody's married.
Well, there's divorced
but remarried.
I'll tell you where. Well, yeah, it is. You know what? You got to be on your game you got to be, it's like hunting wily prey down here. Because there's maybe only 100 ones available. And then you got different.
Yeah, levels of the goodness.
Yeah, you got an age thing you got to work into. Age.
Yeah. And
like, what's your age?
I'm 49, but I'll.
No, what's the age you work in?
10 years.
Either way?
Yeah.
You know what? And do you have any type of woman? I don't want to get personal. No, but you don't have
breathing.
No. Do you have, you're not restrictive on
no,
culture, origin, or something like that?
No.
You know what? I always said that with people. If you're more open, your horizons are. And you're a great guy. If I had to give her, from what I know of you so far, and Jenna, I'm sure give you a good reference.
Yeah, he's
yeah. If this was maybe 10 times bigger, man, you wouldn't have to go on Tinder.
No, you just
You get a lot of reference. They go like this. Hey, you know what? Hey, you know what? Maybe we can do this. hey, maybe our listenership has been going up between 10 and 20% each month.
Right, and maybe they're women between the age of 39 and 59,
yeah,
which would totally.
And I'll tell you,
category.
I can actually see you dating a 35-year-old.
I would say so too.
I don't know how they feel about dating a.
Well, I didn't know you. I didn't know you were 49. I'm 56.
Shaped, so
I'm 56. I'm 56. I thought you were a little younger.
Yeah, I actually thought you were closer to.
A little shorter.
Oh, you thought we were going to.
I actually thought he was closer to my age.
Hey,
yeah. Well,
hey, listen, I'm not in that. I'm beyond that competitive.
Yeah.
I think it's my bartender mentality when I meet a nice guy or girl, and I say, "Oh, well, they're nice." And maybe you see them when they're drinking. Their guards are down, and their worst behavior is the worst they get is exposed. And you go, "Hey, if that's it, not too bad." Yeah.
Well, plus you have part of your job is to look at people and think about how old they are. Because you have to decide if you're going to card.
I don't
them.
worry about the
well,
card.
you have to, you have to think if you're going to card them.
If someone says, there are women out there. I'm sure there could be like a 28-year-old woman. She's just tired of dating. Dates tons of guys, and they were dating guys her age, and she's just tired of that shit, like bullshit. The young guys put them through, and they go, "Man, I just want to go out with something." Girls just say, "I just want to go out with a stable individual that shows up when they're going to do, is there for me, and this and that." And, someone like Andy could be right up the alley, and then Andy has to go, "Oh, man, I don't want to have to work so hard for someone who's, 27, 28, 29.
Yeah, well, the thing with the age thing, usually if they're 35 and they don't have kids, they're looking for kids. I'm well beyond that.
Yeah.
I'm no interest in kids. Now, if you already have the kids,
there are a lot more women out there nowadays that are not looking for kids.
Well,
you'll be surprised.
My really last serious relationship, she kept telling me that, and
then
now she
clock was ticking.
Or one and all that. So I don't know. Sometimes they lie and sometimes they don't.
I think it depends on, as the female in the conversation, I think it depends on the person, because coming from someone who raised 3 little boys all by herself, which was married the entire time that I had kids, I, of course, was like, all right, so this is who I'm going to have children with, and this is how this is going to work. But then when you get divorced and you end up doing it all by yourself, it's really difficult to look at another person and go, do I really want to do this all over again with you?
Yeah.
I think it has to be the right person. Imagine, right? You could meet a girl.
I agree with you. I'm
right. So let's say you met a girl and you're like, you know what? I could see this girl being an excellent mom, and that would be really cool. And that's that's a girl you could take home to your mother, and you wouldn't be embarrassed about it. That's the one you might consider actually having kids with. But I tell you what, you ain't gonna bring some damn slut home to mom and be like,
think about that stress dynamics that puts on a relationship. If you went into a relationship with no preconceived notion of wanting to have kids, wanting to be married, wanting to do this, and just getting the relationship for the sake of a relationship.
Right.
And then we have a good time, move it to the next level. No preconceived notion, not waiting for it. Those people that date with the, is it Match.com? I'm looking to get married. You see the girls, I'm looking to get married. How much fucking pressure is that?
But you know what?
How many people just accept? Yes.
Sometimes it's a good thing that they have that out there. Where they're like, this is what I want. I want marriage. I want 2.5 kids, and I want a house on the water or whatever. Okay, you're not for me. I'll move on.
Yeah. Oh, no, at least total bullshit.
It's nice that they sometimes
when you're dating's dating. That's
want.
Courtship.
Oh, God.
Right?
Yeah.
Is that courtship?
Yeah. It's the tryout.
Yeah. Matchmaker, make me a match. Find me a find. Catch me a catch. I told you I know these musicals.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm a geek.
He's super geek.
Is that from Cats?
No, that's from Fiddler on the Roof. I think no.
Yes.
It is from Fiddler on the Roof. Okay. I got Joe chimed in. I go, was it from Fiddler on the Roof?
Yes.
I announced, I was.
Voice of God.
Yes. He's behind us.
Yeah. So, and then that's, back then, I guess in the 1800s, it goes, you're not going to go and date someone and find someone. You're just going to, I guess Just imagine for years, for hundreds of years, it was line of sight from your hut to another hut.
Yeah.
That was the one you were going to marry. And that was your choice. That was your choice. Hey, Andy, I got 2 daughters. This one's clubfoot is on the left. This one's clubfoot's on the right. You pick. Can you get me one, Jenna?
Oh, the lefties are always the crazy ones. So
Yeah,
go
yeah.
for the lefty.
Go with lefty.
Go for the lefty.
Okay. And she has a wonky eye.
Oh God, wonky
Yeah.
eye.
And she spits a lot.
There's a chant that
She squeezes a lot of balls.
There's a chant that my supporters group up in Detroit, we'd sing that song.
Yeah.
And one of the lines is she has a wonky eye.
Oh, we had a song in it. We had a song in our fraternity house about we called it the Drexel Homecoming Queen song.
Oh gosh,
It was pretty disgusting.
yeah.
Yeah, but I'm sure that song was going around for years before we went. But that's misogynistic.
Is it kind of like one of Mom's limericks? Can you sing it for me?
Yeah, I can sing it for me, but
For
you.
For you.
I think I said it. It was horrible. It's another time, another part of my life. And actually, in a previous show, Joe and I were going to talk about if the last episode was called "A Message to My Younger Self," or to our younger selves.
Oh God.
And it's not. I don't want to repeat it. It was horrible. It was pretty horrible. It was.
College is horrible.
Oh yeah, it is. And I joined. You know, it's funny. They sold me, and they're good guys. And my fraternity actually had female members, not little sisters. They were voting members. They went to the meetings. They weren't clean up after the party. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't. We couldn't reveal it to the national at the time. But still, and they said no. I said I don't want to join it because it's just the way. I didn't say they objectify women. It's just a bad reputation, how the hazing and all that stuff. So I was in the Navy Reserve then too. So they said you have a problem with all that stuff. And I didn't. I was thinking officer and a gentleman stuff. You're supposed to be a gentleman, and not everyone is a gentleman. No. And when guys get together, sometimes they are not gentlemen. When it's definitely a herd mentality.
Oh God,
that is true.
Go hang out with a bunch of women. They're so nasty.
Oh no, you're herd mentality. I said herd mentality among them. Once you release the hounds and stuff like that, you're doing.
Most of my friends are male, and my few friends that are female, I have a few that I've been friends with for a very, very long time, like from up north. I have very few female friends.
Well,
and most of them are just nasty.
Women, Shakespeare said, women are supposed to be there to gentle our condition. Mm-hmm. Right? I think that was one of the lines. I think it was from Henry V when he was trying to woo.
Gentle your condition, women.
He was trying to woo Catherine. I think her name was Catherine, the Princess of France. But when you're with a bunch of guys, they don't necessarily know how to behave. I think a lot of it's a fear of being rejected, so you have to objectify.
You have to adapt.
Yeah, and you don't want to go, and you put yourself out, and the girl can smack you down. She's with a bunch of girls. They go, "Get away from me, you fucking loser!" You know that thing. Oh, fuck, man! I got the big L a couple times.
The big L.
The big L from the girls.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and the dumbasses can't put it back. They put it backwards. Okay, yeah. You know what? It's L when you. You know what? You're the loser because you can see the L. You have a foreign letter. That letter, the way you put up, means big dick in Russian. No, I mean,
thank you.
No, but doing this stuff to somebody.
He's holding a finger
you.
L up on his forehead.
Yeah, and I'm not saying there's no excuse. That's we talked about the incel movement, involuntary celibate. We mentioned. There's it. You ever hear it?
I know what USB is, but I don't know what you're talking
incel
about.
Movement. It's a group of people that consider themselves involuntary celibate. They have a creed where they believe that there should be a certain women.
Right now, I'm involuntarily celibate.
Not involuntarily celibate. You're not because you're not that way because women aren't willing to. They think women should be at behest of men submit themselves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they really objectify him. They say shit, and it's real. And there was a couple guys that did mass shootings that did that stuff. It's a small group of guys.
Yeah.
It's.
I just roll my eyes because I'm like,
Do you know what
No.
USB means?
no.
Unwanted sperm buildup.
Oh, blue balls.
Blue balls.
Like
So-
that dog from Van Wild.
Yeah. So I think we can end it with blue balls have been around for years.
Blue balls.
At least 40 years, I think.
I mean, I would think that men have had cases of blue balls since the beginning of balls.
No, I meant the phrase, using the phrase. So, did you? Yeah, it's just one of those things that just come about. They called it something else. I'm sure they
It's like
called it something else 200 years ago when they're in camp at
What would they have called
the
it back
soldiers.
What do you think the French would call that?
right.
My lady, my dearest lady, my spirit is all built up inside my innards, and I need to release them upon your maidenhead, or your bosom. Maidenhead's vagina, I think. The Maidenhead.
There's a football club in England called Maidenhead.
The Maidenhead.
Of
Well, actually,
course.
Maidenhead.
They're AKA the pussies.
They used to call it. I think there's a.
Sorry.
Willows.
There's a book called The Fountainhead, and it's kind of a.
Pussy
But the Maidenhead is their hymen, I think. What, Joe? What is the Maidenhead? Maidenhead. Yeah, is it the just the vagina? Okay.
Really?
Ask
No,
the
you've
gay
been
guy.
there before. Okay. Well, listen, we're going to take our first break right here, actually, our only break until the end of the show.
Yes.
We're going to thank Andy. And
Andy's got to go on a Tinder date.
no, he
I'm
doesn't
kidding.
have a Tinder
I'm
date.
kidding. He's
No,
not
it's
really.
not. It's chat roulette. No. Just
Free
kidding.
dinner.
Yeah, he's
got
eating
free
dinner. Yes.
Free dinner.
Yeah.
Speed dating.
Yeah,
Tyler
speed
says.
dating. Yeah, speed dating to be one person.
I wish
10
it was
seconds.
bingo. I won 150 last Friday. So
Where was bingo? Where?
at the little Legion Community Center.
Civic Center.
I can see where maybe that's where we have a problem meeting women right
Oh, well,
Actually,
you
there
know,
was, there was a couple of them that weren't that bad.
you could probably
Andy,
expand
you
your
got-
age gap
You know
a
what I'm
little
talking
bit.
about?
I was there.
I
to
think-
get money. Okay, it's like going to the casino.
All right, all
At
right.
the swim clubs, at gym, at the CrossFit places, you don't have to work out there. You can just go and hang out and be like, find out something to do there that
I think
would legitimize
that
your presence.
Your age requirement of 10 years younger to 10 years older should just like accumulate on top and go 20 years older, and then you might be lucky at bingo.
Sugar mama.
Yeah. Oh, the Civic at the Civic.
Right.
The Civic, right behind
be
DJ
like my
Steiner,
husband.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I went there. I got invited there. I got invited there for Friday night. They had a
That's when bingo
that a
was.
DJ. Oh, well, no, I was there with. I brought Abby and Sky. It wasn't. It was years ago, so it could have been another night. And they had a DJ and all that stuff. And at that time, I guess I was around 51, 50 years old. I was the youngest by about 15 years.
Yeah, it's a mix.
No,
There-
the bingo's
there's-
different.
there-
Bingo's different. They were doing this dance thing. It was definitely for an older group. Okay.
Sit next to the lady that can't see very well with the daubers and orders way too many cards because she can't keep up. Then you can help her. Give her a little reach
lady-
over and help.
no, that-
let me.
Or maybe
you
she'd
missed-
give you a
missed
reach
this
over.
number.
That
I'm
lady
sorry.
is-
Hey, Jenna, maybe you give him a reach over.
Yeah, she'll be like, "Oh, look at you missed your B12."
Oh, what's that? What's that? Is
I
that
have bingoed
that-
for
That's
a
not
long
my
time.
dauber.
You stay
That's
away.
not my dauber. I dropped it between your legs. Oh my
Stay
God!
away from them. They are
Squeeze
the
it. You gotta squeeze it.
away from my
You
dauber.
gotta squeeze it to get the wet part. in front of-
Just tap it a few
Shake it a
times.
little longer.
Shake it longer.
Spit on it.
Oh.
It'll.
Oh my God! It's blackout. We're gonna be doing this all day.
And
I'm
once
gonna be
again,
shaking.
I cannot share this link with my mom.
Okay.
Sorry, Mom.
Okay. Thank you, Andy. We're gonna take a little break now. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
If you want to get your information about the Florida Keys straight from the locals who live here and the ones who love it here, we've got you covered. Visit 43keys.com as your source for everything Florida Keys. Sign up for our newsletter and you'll always be up to date on all the Keysy stuff that's going on down here. Go to 43keys.com. That's the number 4, the number 3, keys.com, and sign up today.
Oh, we're back, and we just turned that beautiful little bingo game at the Civic Club into a dirty orgy jerk-off marathon.
Did you hear that one from back there, Papa?
I heard, and you know what? I want to go play bingo and meet some
octogenarian. Yeah.
I want to make her all scabby.
Do you want it? Do you want it with the teeth in or out?
I want her scabby wet.
Do you want it? Yeah. Do you want it with the teeth in or out?
Oh, you know.
Well,
what's that movie?
Out. I would prefer the teeth out.
Is that Yes? That is Yes Man.
Yes
Wasn't
Man.
It? When the neighbor lady wanted him to hang up the shelves.
That was Finola Flanagan. I know her.
Oh my God!
You know why? She was the mother in this TV show from the 70s called How the West Was Won, and she was beautiful. She was 30 years younger. She was a little older, but she was gorgeous when she was younger.
Her teeth out and put them in a cup.
No, it's that. Well, now she was, and she was also in. She was the mother in Invention of Lying. Did you ever see that?
No, but isn't that?
I think you might like it.
Was that a
Ricky Gervais?
Oh, Ricky Gervais. Yeah,
it's actually about. It's kind of like. It's a.
How
it's
nobody
a,
had ever lied before, and he was like,
well,
the
there
only
was
person
a future where there's no. It's not a future. I wouldn't say dystopian. It's an alternate present where there's no religion. Right? Everyone says what they're thinking. No one couches their comments. Right? There's no art. There's only documentaries of things that happened. There's only documentaries. The only art form is recreations of things that have happened. There's no fiction. There's no. I mean, it's all like fucking ratings. Why, you're showing a copy of it?
I just found the gif of her putting her teeth in her cup and like Jim Carrey.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that's a visual thing though. That really doesn't work on our podcast. So wouldn't that be a funny world when you just couldn't, when you're looking at someone, you just say exactly when people. That's, I guess it's when you call it no filters. Well, the main character Ricky Gervais is he works for the documentary company, and his mother is Finola Flanagan. I think that's her name is Finola Flanagan, and she's dying, and she says, "Oh, there's no religion." Because no one has ever lied yet.
Right.
So she's afraid of dying. And he's there comforting her. And he says, listen, you don't have to be afraid of dying, because when you die, you go and meet all the people that you knew before and loved before. And it's you get whatever you want to eat and all that stuff. And all these hospital staff is outside the room listening to him, and they're not comforting him. They go, your mom's going to die, but the good news is it's fajita day down in the cafeteria. The guy said it just straightest thing, because they're not pretending to be sentimental and stuff like that. They're just doing their job.
Everything is just
everything is that way. That's her. Yeah. So yeah, she's a beautiful woman. And imagine her younger. She had red hair and all that stuff. Well, so they're listening and go, "What's this? When you die, you get a big house, and everyone gets a big house and all this stuff." And the story gets around. He's the only one that ever did it. So they gather outside his apartment building. All these people find out. They hear about it, and they start gathering at his apartment building. And he's there with a bunch of his friends, Jonah Hill, Louis C.K. And they just want to talk to him about it, and he has to write down some rules or something like that about the man in the sky who knows everything. You would love the principle of it. Jenna, you would love it. He talks about the man in the sky, and he says, write down the rules, and he's writing on a paper. He says, these papers don't feel like they're really good. He has these loose leaf papers, and he goes, cut that pizza box apart. And he puts them on the pizza boxes, and he's holding them in each hand. He goes, "This feels better. This feels better. Like the Ten Commandments." And he comes out, and he tells all the things, and then he starts answering everyone's questions and stuff like that. And it just disrupts the whole.
So was it like? Did it follow along with the Ten Commandments? Was it like, "Thou shalt not kill"?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Well,
it was. He's a humanist, so he said a lot of things that he got rid of the honor me and all that. You shall have no. He didn't do that one, but don't kill anybody.
Yeah.
Don't try not to lie. Do whatever. And yeah, but it was a great story. It's called The Invention of Lying. Because he was sitting, after he went to the hospital, I think before he did it, he's at a bar, and Louis C.K.'s a bartender. And he goes, he says, "Well, what do you mean you made it up? What do you mean make it up?" He goes, "Like, I invented the 10-speed bicycle." And Louis C.K. looks at him and goes, "Really? Can you get me one can get a good deal on a 10-speed bike before he buys it?" He goes, "I've been to outer space 3 times." And these people look at him and say, "That's amazing." Because
they just believe everything.
They just believe everything. So how did we?
I don't know, but it's a great statement on religion.
Well, I apologize to if you shouldn't be listening to this because we do blaspheme all the time, and if you do believe in that, you're probably going to go to hell if you are a regular listener. If you're a regular listener and everything is true what you're being taught in your church, well, first of all, there's probably a whole bunch of stuff you did wrong.
If everything that's being taught is true, no one in your church, no one you pray for, no one they pray for ever gets sick.
Yeah.
Period.
A truckload of hopes and prayers going out to you.
Thoughts and prayers, baby.
Yes.
I feel so much better. My conscience is clean.
Okay, but that it's funny because that little, the emoticons or whatever, the little things that pop up on your phone, you send the pictures, the smiley face or the one with the tongue sticking out. There's the one that looks like 2 hands praying. Yeah. Turns out that it's actually 2 hands high-fiving each other. And so, so most people are like, pray, and they have all these hands, and all you're doing is high. I'm so sorry your husband passed away.
High five!
Today. High five!
High five!
Yeah.
He was a prick.
Yep. High five.
Yeah.
Like a Borat thing, right?
Praying for you. High five.
High five!
You were last night. You were all there at the Martini
couch.
Monday. Yeah. And it's Monday Night Football, and this is for my friends in Philadelphia. If they're still listening, they're not that religious. If they are, they're lying about it. They don't go to church. Yeah. But the Eagles played the Giants, and they were losing most of the game, almost the whole game. And they tied at the end, and they won in overtime. And there was a girl that came in, right when you left. Damien and Tommy came in, right? Were you Damien and Tommy there when you came when you were leaving?
No.
I don't think so.
No, they came in about a half hour later. They came
because it's 10 o'clock, Tommy.
Yeah, well, no, he came in at 9:15. After 9.
Left at like 8:30.
He bebops in through the door. Tommy's not big into sports. He's from North Jersey, so he'd be more of a Giants guy because he's from the mountain, but he doesn't give a shit. And since he's hanging around with Phillies guys, he's going, and his girlfriend's from Philly. Damien's from Philly. He's just cheering for the Eagles, and it sucks, man. You're like 45 minutes, or 90% of the game, you're just depressed. And there's some pretty girl, but she's a teacher. She comes in with all Giant shit on it, and she's clapping and cheering and stuff like that for a 2-9 team, now 2-10. And I just felt so freaking miserable. For years, I've always said, I am not going to get wrapped up in a team, a bunch of millionaires. They don't give a shit about what I do, how I perform, do they? They don't care if I get injured.
Of course not.
If I miss a day at work. Why do you give a shit? Why should I be miserable if they do their job poorly? I don't get it. And why? And after you have to pay, you got to go and pay to see them work, do their job. You go and pay, and they get millions. They get paid from it. It's all different insurance. You go and wear their stuff around, promoting them. And then when they're retired, they go to the place to see some convention or someplace to see them to buy their autograph. That's a fucking great gig. Now, I got people that have to pay to come in and steamy, yes, but I'm giving you something tangible.
Beverages.
A $5 stupid fucking martini. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Beverages.
you're either getting a martini, you're getting food, you're getting a drink.
Yeah,
you're
I'm
getting
going to
something.
do it and stuff like that. And I don't get half the thing if anything ever happens to me. They're like, Jim got hit by the bus, the Monroe County bus, crushed his head. Oh man, who's going to make my martinis? You know, do they? You know, come on. Some of them going to say that.
No, we really don't care.
Yeah, they don't. See, I
It
knew
would have been the Miami-Dade bus.
Fucking
No
knew
one
it.
cares, Jim. No one cares. And quite frankly, on a football team, if there's a concussion and that player's out, they'll find a replacement. Everything and
Everyone is replaceable.
Everyone's replaceable.
No, but they still talk about Joe Theismann, man. They recreate. They still play his tape of him.
Well,
getting
we
his broken
celebrate
leg.
our gladiators. I mean, the good ones, the ones that
Yeah.
stuck around a while.
Yeah.
You know, it's how we make heroes.
I've been around for a while. Doing it, not like a football player though. Fucking, hey, but yeah, I'm never gonna. I always say I'm not gonna feel shitty if they. Why would you feel? You get all emotionally invested in this. Why would that change not one iota of your mood?
Oh, but we all know people that when their team loses,
I
they
think
can
it's
be miserable for days or until the next week when their team plays again.
Well, if they go to the Super Bowl, I mean, every time they go to the fucking Super Bowl, the whole fucking town's miserable. Whole town. Millions of people. I mean, if it was true about people's attitudes changing, when they said if you get millions of people meditating and stuff like that, you could change something. If that was true, shit, that fucking city would have just fucking blown up, just spontaneously combust after a loss. Like the World Series. Who won this year? The team that won didn't won it. They weren't supposed to win, and it wasn't the Yankees, it wasn't the Dodgers. I can't even fucking remember. Can't remember. Nope, it wasn't the Astros. Was it? No, they said the Washington.
The Washington Nationals.
The Nationals won. The Nationals won. They and they were playing the Astros, right?
Yes.
And you would think the Astros, the whole fucking city would have just turned into a fucking nuclear ground zero. Just some horrible thing. The way people behave after something like that.
Yeah, well, it's just like,
Or
when teams win and they have their parades, when they win, like, national championships, and then the mob goes berserko and turns into something else because it becomes mob mentality. Break the windows of storefronts.
When they announced, was it VE Day or VJ Day, where all the people came out in the VJ Day, where they got the sailor kissing the nurse and all that stuff?
Yeah.
And the amount of exuberance there, where a war for your existence occurred, and there's no discernible difference between that and your pro team winning a championship, which does not fucking change your life one iota. And I'll tell you, if you lost, that would have changed. That would have changed your life significantly. That would have changed your life significantly eventually.
Yes.
Eventually, your life would have been changed. And there's plenty of shows about it. That one show I wanted to see was that Man in the High Tower.
Oh, I've not seen that yet. That sounds very interesting.
Yes. So I get distracted. Can you go and talk about something? I'm drawing a blank.
About?
I'm just drawing a blank.
About what?
Whenever there's anything.
Well, there's doctors that can help you with that, Jim.
I know. It's just whenever there's a conversation going over the side, it just knocks me off my.
I know. It
whole
happened
thing.
to me earlier too when they were talking.
Yeah.
Sorry. I apologize. I apologize.
I just lost complete track.
That's okay. We were talking about gladiator sports, mob mentalities, and the elation of winning versus the depression of losing.
Yes.
And how it really, to me,
I'd like to be outside that box.
it makes no sense. Yes, me too. Because you know what? I don't want to be that
When you-
emotionally attached to the goings on a TV or in an arena. Just don't.
Yeah.
Hey, it's great to watch, right? It's great fun. And your team might lose, and you go, well, they lose. But what happens next week? They play again. Oh, they're not going to go to the Super Bowl. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, one team is going to the Super Bowl. Everyone else won't. So you're in good company.
I can actually see, like, with one of these shows when one of your characters dies, that, yeah, you got emotionally involved in that because you were emotionally involved in it. It's a show. You suspended your imagination. You went inside it, and then it happens. But they get over it. Your main character, when they killed Ned Stark in Game of Thrones, people got over it in 24 hours. And they were invested in that show so much to kill one of the main characters. They're fine 24 hours later. Your team loses. You're shitty for a week.
Yeah, to me it makes no sense.
Yeah,
it's to me, what if it's a psychological issue, like a deficit in your self-worth, that you put so much bank in your team needing to win that when they don't, it cripples you psychologically.
Yeah, you got to wear the gear. You got to wear all the.
You got to wear the gear. You got to represent. You got to do all that. And when they lose, you're crushed because I'm sure there's image stuff going on. How do you represent everyone else? You boosted and boasted. My team's going to win. I'm wearing their stuff, and then they lose, and it becomes like, what do I say to these people now? You've bet on an image that deflated before your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Now what?
Mm-hmm.
And some people, I guess.
I'm not even that emotionally invested when my daughter's team plays. I just worry about, did she play well? Did they all right? Good team. I'm not like this. You played well. I look at her and say, you played well. The other team got a couple extra points better. Sometimes, she's in junior high, and she plays volleyball. And you go to a volleyball game, and they have a certain way of playing that, how they hit the ball. You can't palm it. Yeah, you use your fingertips. Right? And the other teams none of them are adhering to it. They're smacking the ball with their hand. They're punching it from underneath and all this. And they're close fisting the ball. But they're not fisting the ball.
Supposed to slap
no,
it
but they're doing it, and they're just getting the ball over. They're using their raw athletic talent, which is still pretty good. And they win. And the girls on Sky's team, and they play the teams they play. They're like half guys and half girls, but they're all girls on Sky's team. They got to hit the ball.
That's
regulation,
called a set.
Not the set and hit and serve the way the coaches want them. Not that the ref doesn't call fingertips or anything like that. They won't call them on these kids yet, but they're playing like by the rules. They're at to play in high school. So
listen,
which I don't care. See, at that point I go like this. It's a different. It's kind of like almost like if the Globetrotters played the Washington Generals,
right?
And they play by the rules. If they played by the rules, they'd lose every time.
Yeah, it was the whole fun, right?
Yeah, they're pulling guys' pants down and running around and stuff like that.
It was a clown show.
It
was fun to watch.
They get their bucket of
We've seen
glitter and throw it on someone.
We've seen it. We covered it. Yeah. Farmers. Right?
Who has a bucket of water? Why would you have a bucket of water next to a slick waxed wood floor? Just a bucket of water sitting there, like you're going to sneak up with someone with a bucket of water.
It's a circus act. It became their thing, didn't it?
I know, but why would you have? I mean, what purpose having a bucket of water sitting by? There's nobody. No one. You don't want any moisture on the
crowd is going. When's Metal Art or
Curly
going to
grab
that bucket
and
so it
throw
sat
it on
there until that moment.
And it was confetti or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And the crowd would go wild. And
yeah,
it was fun.
Yeah,
but I don't blame any athlete from taking an emotional hit at losing because they're vested.
Like crying?
No. I mean like really being disappointed in their own loss and because they're actually vested in the doing of that sport.
Mm-hmm.
As a fan,
Thank you.
I could be a little disappointed, like, oh, man, they lost, but I get over it. But I can understand where an athlete, they're vested in this. I mean, they have to use that disappointment. They got to turn that around and make it the sustenance from which they draw on to do better and win the next game. Yeah. So I get that. But you know what? Not even athletes sit in that mindset when they lose. They have to transition. They have to use that to go the next step, to do better and be the champions the next time.
I used to see them. I worked in a club in the 80s when I was in college, and the Eagles would come in, and they weren't the time I was there, they weren't that hot a team, and they were it was 86, 87. They were horrible back then, I think they were, if I remember correctly. And they were I'd see them out on a Sunday night if they were in town. I'd see some of the players coming in, and they didn't have a problem if they lost. They didn't sit out like the people.
Well, one, they're getting paid well, but you know, it's not even about that. It's about, hey, next week is a new week, and we're going to be training for that competition.
I know. Well, yeah, it's just like being a soldier or anybody. If you lose one battle, feeling bad is not going to make you feel good about it. So, hey, listen, we're going to be we got the live show coming up, which we'll be able
live
to go.
Show.
So wait,
favorite.
are we in the future or in the past now?
We are going to be
in the future,
past.
and we could talk to. We're going to be able to talk to our younger selves.
Younger selves.
Yes, we are.
Because we just did. We can refer to everything in the 2 previous shows in a live show.
The future.
Yeah,
and that's in the past and the future.
Yes.
We're going back to the future.
We're going to go back to the future.
Papa Joe, Andy going on his.
Andy's going on his non-Tinder.
Non-Tinder date.
Non-Tinder. He's not getting
Jenna
any tonight.
No.
Tyler.
No nookie for him.
No.
Papa Joe. Did I say Papa Joe twice?
Yes, but
Damon coming here?
Damon's on his way from work.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we're going to sign off.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Good night, guys.